the EISs will come in once you decide what the property will be used for. Depending on what, there is a due diligence report done, phase 1, phase 2, for the properties along the road. And that was done previously, and depending on when it was done, it may not be, may not be relevant. You can't use it after. Hi, there, how are you? Saw you on TV the other night.
I'll let Katie's won
Yes.
that case today.
I know that we're really in her favor.
A little confused about the, you said that the public land trust, what kind of agency is that?
The public land trust is the revenues from ceded lands are deposited into the public land trust.
And of that, OHA can have 20%.
OHA gets $15.1 million a year.
Okay, so do you say that if you develop these lands, that the revenue will go into the public land trust?
Yes.
And then you're going to get the same $15.8 million?
15.1.
$15.1 million a year?
Yes.
Even if you put this $200 million as an investment, and then you develop it, and then it goes into this public land trust, we're still going to get $15.1 million.
You will get the 15.1 is off of the use of the ceded lands. Any income that OHA generates, it is able to use on its own. For example, our investments, $335 million, generates roughly $23 million a year that OHA uses to support programs in the community. So what I'm saying is that anything that is earned off of these investments, the $200 million worth of property, will be used by OHA to support community programs.
So it would go directly to, it would not be water, it would not be a portion of the public land trust. You get the whole thing.
Yeah.
That I found that a little confusing.
Sorry if we didn't make that clear.
So in the Hawaii Community Development Association now is in charge of this
Yes.
as this area.
Yes.
If OHA was to take over ownership, does the uses, the restriction on the uses of this land change? Or will the Hawaii Community Development Association still be?
Yes. The Hawaii Community Development Authority will still have zoning authority over the properties that are listed up here. And that was a conscious decision on the part of OHA to agree to that, because it is easier to get changes to zoning through the Hawaii Community Development Authority. It is easier to do that than to go through the city and county Honolulu zoning process. So that's why we agreed, or at least we are leaning to agree, that the zoning still continue to be controlled by Hawaii Community Development Authority.
That is made up of citizens, or?
It's a group that is appointed by the governor, and they control not just these properties. They control the lands that are in Kapa'ako, Mauka, up to I don't know what the boundaries are, probably up to King Street and all the way down to the ocean. They also control Evo Beach. They control their jurisdiction also includes what's that military base? Bars Point. Thank you, Bars Point. Kalailo, sorry. Yeah, they're in control of the zoning. They control it now. In fact, it's...
You can protect the homeowner. If you're in control of the zoning, you can create that cul-de-sac where the state doesn't put it out.
We don't control the zoning. Hawaii Community Development Authority controls the zoning.
Just one more.
Sure.
You have a specific reason for asking for this money, and it's very
restricts how OHA spends its money is the Constitution and the statutes. It must be for the betterment of the conditions of Native Hawaiians. That's what our money must be used for. And that's what the money is used for.
So, it would be, say, for instance, could it be possible to create something like a funding source that was not so directly controlled by, say, the OHA board, where it would be more public input, more of the people's input?
You know, I think Bill brought up the point that when there is a Native Hawaiian government in place, there's a question about whether or not this and other revenues could be transferred over to the Native Hawaiian government. That's something that the state and OHA would need to discuss. It's certainly possible.
It's kind of like the people's court, you know? Is it possible to have that kind of an arm that would have some decision-making in funding?
Under the current law, the trustees have a duty. So you got to be careful because they always have to spend the money according to what the law says. So I think what you're suggesting could be done as long as there was some oversight. So it would be hard. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about 5 minutes to 7 o'clock. Any other questions? Is there a burial? If there are burials on the property?
I just want to identify the burial, cemetery, whatever, get real.
The properties would be subject to the burial laws. So if there are identified burials, you would have to follow the law in terms of remediation. Other questions?
Aloha, I just want to say, last guys at OHA will get together and doing our deoccupation of the United States. But bottom line, all this law and constitution issues is a bunch of BS, really, actually, in fact. I mean, we all go to school here, and we did receive, well, I did receive my $500 from OHA for my books. Wow. But I just like to know that when we're going to start the deoccupation, or if there is anything about deoccupying which you guys can answer that.
It's not part of our strategic plan. Other questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure this is what the topic for tonight. My name is Glenn Al, and I need to know what is the status of this Hawaiian government entity, and where does OHA come in on establishing some type of procedures?
Are you referring to the Native Hawaiian Road Commission?
Refer to our Senate Bill 1520 that appointing Governor Abercrombie the payment to proceed with the process of organizing the people in a commission, road commission.
The governor has appointed 5 commissioners to the Native Hawaiian Road Commission. The commissioner from Maui is Mahelani Went. They have met twice. They're meeting again on December the 16th. And that's as much information that I have. They are funded through the Office of Foreign Affairs. They are administratively attached to us, but they...
Excuse me.
Sir.
Certainly.
They are administratively attached to the Office of Foreign Affairs, the Native Hawaiian Road Commission. They're funded through the Office of Foreign Affairs, but they are independent.
Because in the Senate bill it said they have 100, excuse me, someone's talking. The issue is there's 180 days that they were proceeding to do something in January, like having an election. Is that the procedure followed by the Senate Bill 1520?
No.
Who's looking out for those conditions?
The law says that they have to report back to the legislature 20 days prior to the start of the 2012 legislative session. They are in the process of putting a report together for the governor and the legislature. My understanding is that they will file that report in a timely manner. But the only deadline that is in the bill says that the governor will abolish the commission when the enrollment is completed.
And there's nothing said about how many people.
No, not in that bill.
The rural Senate Bill 1520. Is
Yes.
there anybody assigned from the staff to follow the procedure?
They are independent, so Ernie Kimoto has been acting as counsel to the commission. You're welcome. Any other questions? If not, as I said, we will be back for a round 2 of meetings. You know, we really do appreciate your coming out on a Friday evening. We know that it is certainly not the most convenient time for a meeting. We wanted to try to get all of these discussions completed before the month of December. So if you have any questions after we are gone, there are email addresses. I happen not to know